Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for telling my teacher about my medical condition? For context, I'm 18F and senior year. I have a condition where my reproductive system is tilted back extremely far. It causes a lot of issues for me. The primary one being frequent UTIs that are caused very easily, such as having to hold it for too long, sex, eating a lot of spicy food, etc. Close bracket. This also means that a lot of the time, either I don't need to pee or I need to go right then, otherwise I'm in extreme discomfort and could get a UTI. Now onto the story. I got to class after lunch a little early so I could put my books down and use the bathroom in the building. But when I walk in, my teacher is already waiting. Well, call her Miss G. I tell her that I'm gonna go to the bathroom before the rest of the class gets there. She tells me that I should have gone at lunch and to sit down. Frankly, Miss T is insufferable at the best of times, but especially when you disagree with her. So I just sit down and figure that I'll ask her again in about 10 minutes because it wasn't that bad yet. Keep in mind, Miss T knows about my condition. I've had her for a class almost every school year since I was 13. This developed when I was 14, 15. I get distracted by my work, and about a half hour goes by when it starts getting unbearable. I ask again, and she stops the whole class to lecture us about how we should go before class. The class turns and looks at me once she's done, and I just feel mortified. She says that unless we have a medical condition, we should be able to hold it. She then tells me to go, but she doesn't want to hear me ask to use the bathroom again in her class because I'm not a child. Lo and behold, it feels like I'm pissing razor blades and my bladder is aching for the rest of the day. I ask to talk to her after class and tell her that I do have a medical condition and that we've discussed this before. I figured she had just forgotten. She rolls her eyes and asks what that would be. So I tell her, warning that it's a little personal beforehand, but I'm open about it. Miss T stops me mid-sentence and says that she didn't need to hear about that and that I violated her. She said that she not my doctor and doesn't need to know about my bathroom habits. I got an email from my student coordinator asking to have a meeting with me. Apparently I made Miss T extremely uncomfortable and I owe her an apology. I'm going to apologize to her in class today to keep the peace if nothing else, but I'm not too sure what I did wrong. She did directly ask me, Reddit, am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. I would not apologize, she said, unless you have a medical condition. A lady who doesn't understand what a UTI is and how it can be harmful is just trying to play the victim. BC, she knows she messed up. Sorry, keeping the peace doesn't exist anymore after she humiliated you in front of the class. Edit, finishing my thought in the last sentence. Exactly. Teacher filed a complaint to stay ahead of getting in trouble herself. She thought it would work because a kid wouldn't know any better. Not the a-hole, and escalate this complaint. NTA. High school is so stupid like this. You can walk out of college classes and work meetings to pee. High school should be no different. NTA. You have a medical condition. Do not apologize. When you go to the meeting, explain in detail about your condition and the pain you were caused by not being allowed to go promptly. Tell them you were humiliated by this teacher in front of the class and she should giving you an apology. Bring a letter from your doctor and any documentation you may have about your condition. How long you have known, and when you first informed this teacher. If she wants to say you made her uncomfortable, then truly make her uncomfortable by shoving as much information you can in her face. Am I the antagonist for kicking my husband out of the delivery room? My husband, 34 male, and me, 32F, just had our first child today. We were in the delivery room together. All was going well. I was in a lot of pain, but he was really supportive. The midwife was asking us questions about the baby etc in between contractions, just to help me ease my mind a little. Then she said if we are excited about the pregnancy being over, and I said that yes, because it's been hard for me. My husband snorted and said for me too. She was so difficult. Midwife tried to change the subject, but I asked my husband what the F he means by that. and he said that he is happy it's over and he will get his wife back and the hormonal mess is over. I was so hurt and told him to please just leave the room. He said he's not going anywhere because his child is being born here. I yelled at him to get the F out and he was pissed off, called me enough for making him miss his kid's birth and stormed off. He hasn't been back to see our daughter. He is supposed to come later today. AITA. Now for the top comments. Op's husband must not know anything about women's bodies after giving birth. The hormonal mess won't be over for quite a while. He'll need to buckle up for the ride or get out there permanently. I was thinking this too when I read the post. I was more of a hormonal mess after I gave birth than during my pregnancy. I cried at everything postpartum. He said what now? I was with my wife for all our deliveries and everything she needed. She got, your dude is on thin ice. NTA. All he needed to do after he said that was pull his foot from his mouth, apologize, and say something to the effect of, I'm sorry, that was meant to be a joke. But I realized how mean it sounded as soon as I said it. But instead he held his ground. Apparently not the a-hole. By his logic your hormones are the R. If he comes at you again calling you an R, you can just claim it was your hormones. While you were preparing to push out a tiny human. That made you do it. Am I the antagonist for not moving out of the guest room for my sister? I, 32F, recently divorced my ex after I found out he was cheating. It's been a very difficult time for me. So I asked my mom and stepdad if I could move in with them for a little while. I offered to pay them rent so I can clear my head. And they agreed. Their house has 3 bedrooms. One they use, a guest bedroom I'm staying in, and the third's been turned into an office area, but with a sleeper sofa. My sister Anne, 27F, has ovarian cancer. She's currently in remission. I know Anne has been through a lot, and it's hard for her, but she gets a lot of support from mom, dad and stepdad. It's often as if I'm not there. She's doing better than before. But a couple days ago my mom called her to ask if she wanted to stay over for a few days. Anne said yes. She came over yesterday. Now, mom asked me to move out of the guest room to the office so Anne could stay there. I was kind of surprised. I told her that I have my things in the guest room and she can't expect me to stay in the office on a small sleeper sofa. I have a bad back. Mom kept pushing and insisting it was just for a few days. But I said that I was paying rent and I'm not moving out of the guest room. Stepdad then chimed in, saying that I don't have to pay them. Both of them kept harassing me until I just snapped and said that they sacrifice everything for Anne. Mom is literally the one that invited her over for pretty much no reason and now I'm expected to just pack up and leave. I then said that I feel very sorry for Anne, but I have problems in my life too, and mom never called me up and said to stay over. Anne overheard this and told mom and stepdad that maybe this is a bad time and she can stay over another time. They both obviously kept insisting Anne stay, but she said something about having some work over at her apartment and she'll come by another week. She stayed until dinner, but then asked stepdad to drop her home. After Anne left, mom went off at me, saying I was unsupportive and behaving terribly towards Anne. I told her, again, that I'm very sorry for Anne's condition, but they can't baby her all the time. And she's doing a lot better now. She told me so herself. I said that I'm going through a hard time, but they don't really seem to care. Mom said I was acting selfish and self-centered, and I haven't talked to her after that. Was I being an asshole? Now for the top comments. It's time you move out now regardless of whether you're the tar or not. When you are living with mom and dad at 32 years of age and are causing them grief, whether you are right or not, it's time to go. Thank them for letting you rent a room and move out. Agree. Also, the story is lacking a timeline. WRT how long ago the divorce was and how long Op has been staying there already. It sounds to me like there's a good chance that Op's definition of recently and for a little while is different from her parents. Op has also lied in the post about her sister being in remission, so it wouldn't surprise me if she's lying about this. Except Anne. They shouldn't have offered the room. But you went off and made her uncomfortable in your parents' home after she was invited. You rent a room. You don't pay their mortgage. Also, How do you know something didn't happen in her life and she needed support? Like say, maybe finding out her cancer coming back. Again, everyone sucks here except your sister. Read Op's comments. Sister's cancer is actually back recently, and they had surgery only months ago. Op also thinks sister is lying about cancer. Op has also stayed there only 2 weeks. She probably hasn't paid any rent yet. Oh serious? Op is definitely an asshole. She still shouldn't have to vacate the room. But since she refuses to do so willingly, because of a bad back is just petty, my back is awful as well. Lame excuse. Wibta, if I sue my doctor for breaching doctor-patient confidentiality? FYI, throwaway account. Because background, I saw my doctor because of a sensitive topic. During my first appointment everything went okay, and he confirmed I was healthy. But during my second appointment he said that there was something wrong, and he already saw that during the first appointment. This made me furious, because he didn't tell me during my first appointment. After that I wrote a negative review on a certain platform. L didn't insult him or anything. A couple of days later I saw that he complained to that platform and asked to take it down. Which is his right. But what really pissed me off is that he told my entire health situation to that platform including pictures. Now in my opinion that's a clear breach of doctor-patient confidentiality. But if I do sue him and report him to the medical association this might theoretically cost him his license or cause other sanctions. L don't know. I've never sued a doctor before, so I don't know the consequences. BTW, I live in Europe. The rules here might be different compared to the US. So, would I be the antagonist if I sue him? I feel like IWBTA because this might ruin his career. Edit, because the question came up a few times. I wrote the review under my real full name and there is even a picture of me in my account. So I'm definitely identifiable. He sent a response to that platform, so only the platform can see his response. It's not public on the internet, and confirmed I was his patient, and went into detail why he thought my review was wrong, and while doing that he supported it with my medical information and a medical photo of mine. By that I mean like an X-ray or ultrasound. That kind of stuff. Edit 2, I have already found another doctor, and I'm very happy there. Edit 3, thank you so much for all the answers. I will definitely go talk to the medical association that is responsible in my country and I will go find a lawyer. However today is a public holiday and tomorrow most companies are on long weekend so this might have to wait until Monday. Now for the top comments. NTA. Yes, sue him. And yay, he can and should lose his license. You are supposed to be informed if there is anything abnormal. That is his duty. He has absolutely no business not informing you. What next? A doctor chooses not to tell you that they found a lump. They choose not to tell you that your lab results came back HIV+. No, that's crap. You had every right to complain. And doctor-patient confidentiality remains the same, no matter where you are. The only time he can release any details relating to your health is with your consent. If your complaint is under your name, and he replied to that, and put your health history, then you can be identified. Clear breach. Who knows what else this guy does? And BTW. If you do report and sue, you aren't ruining his career. He ruined his career with this unprofessional, unethical behavior. And then to post her medical info online with photos? He would be facing criminal charges for that alone in the US. Never mind the malpractice suit. Speak to your lawyer first. Make sure you have the proof. Don't jump the gun. It could be turned around on you if you're not careful. Not the a-hole though. He knew better. Am I the antagonist for not giving a friend free dinner after a call? I, 25F, work with Mary, 27F, and we were good friends. Mary has been experiencing financial difficulties because her husband is unemployed and has been struggling to pay the bills and put food on the table for her husband and son. I don't face so many difficulties because my girlfriend and I split the bills and we have leftovers. I noticed that she wasn't bringing a lunchbox to the company and she confided in me that she was skipping lunch to have dinner. I decided I would help and started every day more food for dinner and set aside enough for Mary, her husband and their son to eat. As we live close by and my girlfriend always passes by Mary's house on her nightly walks. She would leave the food with Mary with her permission. I'm not the best cook. I know my food doesn't taste that good, but I really put in the effort and it doesn't look that bad. And believe me, I'm the best between me and my girlfriend. Monday, I was at home making food and I called Mary to let her know that the food was going to be a little late. She said fine and I said I would hang up. I ended up getting my hand dirty and it took me a while to hang up. I don't think Mary noticed and I heard her saying to someone, probably her husband, "Ugh, I hope the food is edible today." I didn't comment and hung up and just for her son's sake, my girlfriend took the food. The next day, my day off, I texted Mary saying, "I can't make dinner anymore. Sorry." She asked if something happened and I, a little bitter, said, "I don't know. My food is not edible." She started bombing my cell, saying that she didn't mean it and that she was grateful for the food as it was helping a lot. I stuck to what I said and she started to say if I had the courage to let a family starve, and if so, how cruel and inhumane. Honestly, I'm pretty upset by the comment, and even though my food wasn't the best, I really did it in kindness, and hearing her say, even if unknowingly, badly about my food really put me off. But I would like to ask, am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. NTA. Oh my goodness. You kind soul. I'm a cook by trade and even I get ungrateful comments like these. And they hurt. Food is a love language, and even if you're not the best cook just yet, she had no right to insult your kindness like this. I understand that you weren't meant to hear it, but that is absolutely no excuse. Sounds like this scenario will leave her plenty of humble pie to eat anyways. Yeah, and it'd be one thing if after getting caught she just apologized and dropped it, but she tried guilt tripping up instead. I'm so sorry I said that. It was totally out of line and ungrateful of me. I completely understand your decision. I wouldn't want to cook for me either anymore. I hope you can forgive me one day is what she should have said, and nothing more. Not you're cruel and inhuman for letting my family starve. Like WTF. It's your job to feed your family, not your neighbors. NTA, your coworker is a choosing beggar. If I was starving and my friend was feeding me, I wouldn't care if they were giving me the blandest casserole in existence. I would still be grateful. Also, I could just add spices. Spices make everything better. Am I the antagonist for going off on my soon-to-be husband for returning my wedding dress? Me, F29, and my STBH, M33, are getting married soon. Wedding planning has so far been going alright except for few things he and I argued about, like the venue and flower girl. Now we've been arguing about my wedding dress. This might sound kitsch, but ever since I was young I dreamed of having my own beautiful wedding dress. I can afford it, but my STBH thinks it's not okay to waste a couple of thousands on a dress I'm only going to wear once. Yes, he might have a point there, but for one, this is typical price for wedding dresses. And two, because it's a once in a lifetime thing, then why not make sure it's special? STBH still wasn't convinced and suggested I rent a dress instead of buying one. He started saying that I'm being irresponsible with money and brought up how much money I've already put aside to rent a face. He means makeup and wear fake hair. He means extension, but I have this vision of what I want to look like, sort of speak, on my wedding, and I think that it's my right as a bride. I went ahead and purchased the dress, but a day later I found out that it was missing from my closet. I freaked out, but he told me he returned it and got the money back. I was shocked. I asked him why he did that, and he said he thought the dress was ridiculously expensive and that was wasting money, and again suggested I go rent one. I blew up and went off on him, which I've never done before. He literally took few steps back and told me to calm down. I said he had no right. I'm the one paying for the damn dress. He got upset and said that there's no I'm paying for it myself in marriage, and that my attitude is setting the tone for what type of dynamic we'll have in our marriage. He kept on about how I must expect him to pay for everything while I keep my money or spend it irresponsibly, but I never tell him how to spend his money. I responded that he gets zero say in how I spend my money whatsoever. He told me that I should grow the F up and stop with the dream wedding dress glitch, then stormed off. To call his mom who chewed me out saying she won't let me ruin her son's financial stability with how I deal with money generally. She too urged me to rent a dress or buy cheaper one. Way cheaper than the one I picked and move on, but I declined. AITA for repeated questions. Yes. He still has the money and said he'll give it back once we agree to a solution. Now for the top comments. NTA, if you are spending your own money and it is not going to wipe you out financially, I would seriously reconsider marriage to a person like this. It will never change. Don't settle, please. Yes, my own money, and it's obviously won't cause me or him any financial struggles, and we are not even struggling with money, but he always rants about securing his future and making sure he has enough money for this and that. He told you to grow up and then went to his mommy to tell on you. You're not the a-hole, but your, I hope soon to be ex-fiance sure is, and his mother as well. Many here. Holy shit. He literally stole from you and then called his mom to tell you he was right. Time to cancel the wedding. NTA. This, if anyone in this relationship is setting the tone for what it will look like, it's him. Op is definition not the a-hole, except to herself. If she doesn't end this now,